when we're doing our own work, or when we're looking at, let's say we're looking at a painting, representational painting, and we see there's a cup or something, or a bowl, or whatever it is. There's some form that we just see it, and it's like, oh, that's a believable form, and there's a believable space, and these forms are in this world that we're looking at. Maybe we'll go over that again when we look at the yuan uglo. And when we're doing our own work, let's say we're trying to draw a cup or a bowl, and we're working on that ellipse, or a box, the top of a box, whatever it is, and we get it. We're working. Let's, before we get it, we're working, and it's just not there yet. We can feel it, we can see it. We're not sure exactly what it is, but there's this feeling or a sense of, I'm over here and I'm looking at my paper, and I'm on the outside trying to figure out how to get this geometry to be like that thing I'm looking at. Now I'm looking at that thing, and there it is. There's this object in space. I've got a bowl. There it is on the table. And I'm looking at my paper, and I'm trying to get that geometry right. And I'm working this frustration. I'm working. Oh, I see. It's this angle over here, or the back, or the left, or the right, and it's the curve. And okay, so I keep adjusting, and then, oh, the ellipse starts to function like the top of the bowl, and it feels like the bowl. And I look, and yeah, it feels like the bowl. And then there's the sense of the form of the bowl, and there's the space around the bowl. Is this ringing a bell? Maybe, I hope. When we're drawing and painting, we're going from trying to figure out how to do this, and then when the pieces come together, when we've analyzed the geometry, we're analyzing the values, whatever it is, we're getting it right, and then it works. And when it works, there's a sense of form in there. The paper kind of opens, and it becomes a space. And there's this bowl inside there, inside this space. And this flat piece of paper all of a sudden changed and becomes this spatial situation. And there's a form in there. There's not really a form in there, right? It's a piece of paper with some graphite on it, or black and white oil paint on a canvas or something. But we experience a sense of space. We experience a sense of form of the bowl or the cup or whatever it is. And it feels like, I'm looking at the bowl, I've got a bowl over there and a bowl over there. Anyway, when we look at stuff, right, and there's forms in space, and we have that sense. Now, even though I know that the space it's outside of my body, space between my body and that bowl, there's the bowl over there, and there's that space, and yet somehow I am able to remember or feel that sense of space, that sense of form, and bring that to bear when I'm drawing and I'm painting. I'm navigating with that sense of space and form that I carry in me. And that's how when I'm looking at my geometry and I'm looking at the oval of the opening of the bowl, or I'm looking at the top of the box, and I go, that's not it. Like, I know that before I've even, necessarily like figured out what's going on. I can just feel, oh, that's not spatial, or that's not the form, or I could, right? So I'm using the experience of space, the experience of form when I go to paint and I draw. That is, it's something that's in me. And this experience of space, it's always available. We don't always wield it. Most of the time we don't. Most of the time we just go about our business. There's a lot of business to be done. And we have things to do and things to check off on our list, and right, all kinds of tasks. I don't know about you guys. I do. But when I remember space, just nothing fancy. This is not some esoteric thing. This is not some mystical thing. This is just space. And I allow my mind to recognize space, to feel the space, wherever I am. There's a whole downshift. It's like, oh, right. Space. That's all. I just wanted to share that. It just seems hugely important somehow. It's certainly important when we're painting. In making a painting, being able to recognize space, being able to lean into space, being able to conjure space, so that when we're making form, right, we are not just on a piece of paper trying to draw the line of that bowl or something. As we're attending to form, the space starts to arrive. And that's key. Turns out it goes on, and there's this whole thing about being. I'm going to put a pause on that, because space is really being. That is what space is. Our experience of space is really the experience of being, which is great. That's what I wanted to share. So, any thoughts before we move into like looking at images?
It's beautiful. I love that thought.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, it's helpful.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like really not complex, or it's like, oh, right, space. I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a relief.